just fall into a dream.
Like I said, I have a lot of respect for those guys who get out there. It is not easy. And when someone makes something look easy, it's because they have thousands of hours training it and working it, and the blood and the sweat and the soreness and the pain and the injuries that you go through are substantial.
Well,
So,
it's all at some point it becomes all muscle memory, right? Or
certainly.
significant.
Well, yeah, I mean, in martial art, it all boils down to muscle memory. If you have to think about what you're going to do, it's too late. You've either missed the opportunity or you've already been taken out. That's all there is to it. And so that muscle memory, it comes with repetition, right? You have to, the saying, do it till you get it right. Right? You've heard that before. It doesn't work at all in martial art. Anybody can get it right once. Do it enough so you can't get it wrong. That's really the goal. And so now you're talking like, do it till you get it right. Oh, let's say it take you 10 times, 1 out of 10, you got it. Okay. Do it till you can't get it wrong. It takes thousands until it's just ingrained.
What do they say? It takes 10,000 hours to master?
To master something, yeah.
So you're talking about you have students that you've seen them go through multiple different stages of their life at this point.
Mm-hmm.
How many, someone's 15 years in, how many hours is that? That's not even, that's still half of it, less than half of it, I think.
I mean, a student generally will train 2 to 3 hours a week in the school, right? A good student will spend at least that amount of time training on their own. And then, but still, yeah.
So we're looking at 2,300 hours, 15 years?
Yeah, something like that. And that's not really all that much.
Yeah.
But you have to remember, like Kuk Sool Won or any true art was not designed to be practiced recreationally. All right. And so that's one of the modernizations that a lot of these styles, I think, have also kind of driven styles to specialize, because it's much easier with people's limited time to focus on a small piece. And so you can really develop some skill if that's what you're focusing on. But yeah, if you look at 2 to 3 hours a week, 15 years, although it's a lot, it's not all that much. And you look at someone who, like for me, this is my profession and it's also my passion. So I've been, whether I'm teaching or training, and even when I'm teaching, although it's not training at my level, I'm still developing my fundamentals. And I'm a firm believer that the difference between a good practitioner and a great practitioner, world class, is a mastery in the fundamentals. And so just practicing, I don't think you can practice the basics enough because the motivation just isn't there, right? What black belt wants to spend hours working on one kick or their white belt form or their white belt level techniques? They're going to want to work on their newest stuff they're working on. It's natural. But as a teacher, I'm teaching constantly the white belt level kicks, the white belt level forms, and all the way through the syllabus. And so that really gives me a big advantage on the fundamentals. So, look at a student, a couple hours a week, 15 years, whatever it is. Look at someone like me or my teacher, where this is what we've done. I mean, I've been teaching since I was 15 years old. So, you say, let's say 6 hours a day, 5 to 7 days a week for 25 years. Now you look at that, and it's a huge delta in experience. So, that's why, I mean, just someone that does it as recreation and still gets to master level, and then someone does it as a profession, there's usually a big skill gap, even if the rank is the same.
Yeah.
Right? It boils down to experience and the ability to put time into it.
Yeah, you probably have at this point over 10,000 hours. For
yeah,
sure.
certainly.
For sure. So you're saying it's a matter.
And I have a long way to go.
Yeah.
I feel like I have achieved the rank of master, but I still feel like if I learn nothing else, and there's still more for me to learn, like my teacher still has a lot more to teach me, but I feel like I could spend the rest of my life with what I know and still not feel like I would ever get to a level where I thought, yeah, I've mastered this.
Well, that's what makes this so great, right? Is it's a continuing learning.
Right. There is no end.
There is no end.
There is no end.
And you're saying you got black belts that you want to have continually practicing over and over things they've learned in lower belts, right?
Correct.
And you said that you have to make sure that the way you teach, you communicate and keep motivated. So you have that situation where, you have someone who's super excited. What's the type of style of teaching that you execute that makes them still realize they need to do that, get excited about doing that, and kind of keep them not in line, but focused on what's necessary to have that continued learning?
Well, a big part of it is the art itself. The art is very, very diverse. So, one thing that obviously creates burnout for people is, it's just the same thing over and over again, where you have to have that, right? You have to have the same thing over and over and over and over again, because that's how you develop mastery in that. But it's very tedious. It becomes very boring and monotonous. So I think one of the things that we've been able to do at our school is find ways of having repetition, but not having it just pure repetition, right? So finding different ways to have repetition without it being boring, right? Now, also, for example, like I had a student actually not too long ago, I think it was last week, recently moved up to the advanced class. And he came up to me, and he's a young guy. He's like 16 years old. Works hard. He goes, Master David, I don't really feel like I'm progressing. And I said, why is that? He says, man, I remember beginner class, man, I'd be so tired at the end of class. Now in this advanced class, I'm so tired at the end of class. I don't feel like I've progressed. And I said, hold on. Let's back it up for a second here. Think about what you were doing in the beginner class. Think about the level of intensity that you were doing. Now think of the level of intensity that you were doing in the advanced class, right? Are they anywhere in the same ballpark? It's like, well, no. And I said, so here's the thing. I said, it doesn't get easier. You get better, and I challenge you more. That's how it should go. If at the end of a class, if you're not tired, if you're not worn out, well, you've probably been a little bit lazy in your training today, right? So this is the way that the art progresses, right? You get better, the art gets more challenging. So it doesn't get easy. If it gets easy, something's wrong.
Yeah. So Kuk Sool Won is almost a complete definition of personal growth, because you keep giving yourself more and more challenge to better grow yourself, better, in general, better yourself. Use better 3 times there, but it's
better.
It's better. Oh yeah, definitely better. I feel like there's a direct correlation between, just becoming a better person 5 times and Kuk Sool Won, where it's just like, okay, cool, I've gotten to this level. What's the next level so that I can get to the next level and then the next level, but never forgetting where you started.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, goal orientation, right?
Yeah.
Short-term, long-term goals. And then the great thing, for me at least, my experience is my goals have changed substantially in my martial art training. And although I am a teacher, I run a school, I'm always a student. And I learn from my students. So when I'm teaching someone something, if they're not getting it, I've got to find a different approach. And I've had the ability to, been very fortunate that when I have something challenging to teach someone and they're just not getting it, I have to look at it a different way. I oftentimes discover new things about what it is that I'm teaching, something I didn't realize before. And so, when I teach someone something, they get a big benefit, right? But I get a bigger benefit. Right. So that's one of the amazing things about, teaching martial art is through teaching, I get better.
Yeah.
So, but yes, setting the goals, short-term, long-term, having it come full circle, having your goals change throughout time. That's a really big part of having someone stick with anything these days, right? Attention spans are very short these days, right? So you get someone to stick with something for a month, that's not bad. A year, that's pretty good. 5 years, wow. Decades? I mean, that's...
Well, people want a lot of instant gratification.
Yeah, they want the shortcut.
So, yeah.
I want to be able to do what you do tomorrow.
Yes.
So